So I've been getting a lot of comments on my newest videos, and a lot of people are curious as to what RKS means, the RKS system for Type Null being its new ability. What does RKS system mean? Stick around till the end of the video. No, this isn't some like scheme to make you watch the entire thing. In a funny way, it kind of is, I guess, if you want to. But stick around towards the end, and you'll see exactly the meaning of that. But you'll probably have to watch the whole way through. I'm not even lying, because it's a little bit complex. So, get ready. Well, I'm back again. That literally moments after recording my last video, I'm here once again. And if you missed it earlier, we uploaded another theory video that was sort of similar to this one. I wanted to make these two videos separately instead of making them like one combined video and like throwing my theories, just like different ones about different subjects all into one video. I felt like that was kind of like a redundant idea, and I feel like because this new trailer actually told us quite a lot of stuff that we didn't previously know about, I feel like it's probably within my best interest to sort of make a more detailed explanation to each thing that's running through my mind rather than just uploading it all within one video. And today I'm going to sort of be explaining the secret behind Type Null a little bit more in depth than I've seen some people do already. Alright, we need to pause for a moment here because I know I'm going to get 1,000 comments about this. And it sort of defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to explain here based on how I was saying Arceus. I was saying Arceus for the entirety of this video. Since I was little, into grade 3 or grade 4, whenever Arceus was officially announced, I guess, I've always pronounced it like that. So don't criticize me. I mean, feel free to, but it's pronounced Arceus. So I'm going to do my best to pronounce Arceus as Arceus and not Arceus. So sorry for that. I correct myself near the end and it'll make more sense. For right now, just try not to cringe too hard for me saying Arceus. And again, if you've heard explanations like this before, just stick around because I have some cool ideas to sort of suggest and throw your way throughout the video that you might like. So as most of you know, probably at this point anyway, that earlier today there was a new trailer that dropped. It showed off a couple of new trainers. It showed us one of the new Island Kahunas, and it also showed us one of the new trial captains, which is pretty awesome. It also showed us some cool evolutions and stuff like that, but it also showed us an evolution of Type Null, as we were previously shown yesterday in Koro. But what's cool about this today is we get a better in-depth look at what it might look like within game, and sort of, you know, a bit of insight info or insider info or insight. I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm stupid, bro. It's way too early for this type of theorizing. What's interesting is we're going to just quickly just go over to the Pokemon website just to sort of get into things here. Essentially, as you previously have come to know about Type Null, you know that it is known as the synthetic Pokemon. And with it being the synthetic Pokemon, that definition falls under the fact that it was a substance, or rather it was a creation that was manufactured using some kind of chemical process, which, you know, relates to alchemy perfectly. But regardless, it's known as the synthetic Pokemon, so it's sort of man-made, but it's done more with chemicals rather than actual materials. So that said, we know that it had this like hidden secret, this power, this like energy that was stored within it, something that was like a very key factor about this Pokemon inside of it that was being restrained by that brown helmet that it was wearing. As you know, if we look at the actual Koro image from yesterday as well, we'll come to find out that Type Null ends up breaking free of that when it evolves anyway. This is actually an evolution. It's not a form change, it's an evolution according to the actual translation on the magazine. The interesting thing is, if this thing is just, if it's an evolution, and we've actually seen in the trailer also that it is an evolution. You can see that in the Japanese trailer, so it does evolve. It is 100% an evolution. But the cool thing is here is that this thing doesn't really change its form when it evolves. That's one thing to know. It doesn't change its form. It stays the same. If you look at it like its comparison between Type Null sprite and Silvalley sprite, it quite literally looks the exact same, except it's just not wearing the helmet anymore. And so that helmet was storing that power back. It was holding it back from releasing its full potential. So when you have that in mind, then that means that it's a different type of evolution than what we've seen before. It's not really an evolution if you want to call it that. It's sort of, to me, it seems more like a form change. Yeah, or rather, it is an evolution, but it's like that helmet in itself. It's not like a helmet that he just put on. It's a part of himself, but he evolves by like breaking that helmet off, and he just becomes the same Pokemon. He's not changing, really. It's just he's using his full power now. He's become his, you know, his primal form, I guess you could say. So that's one interesting thing to note about Silvalley that we've already seen within like the initial trailers that you can just note about it. But the other thing is, we've seen that it now has been revealed that it is technically the Arceus 2.0. It's the Arceus clone. It literally has the ability to change to any Pokemon typing, it feels like. But there's actually a twist to that. That's not even the case. It stays as a normal type, just like Arceus. but instead of it actually being a matter of, you know, Arceus becoming a normal type or a fairy type or a fire type or whatever, I'm not actually even sure if Arceus's type will change on his summary screen when you give him a plate, but I know that with Silvalley, you just got to insert a drive into him, and that's what it says even on the bio. It says that by inserting exclusive items into the drive on Silvalley's head, its RKS system can be activated, causing Silvalley's somatic cells to mutate and glow. The RKS system enables it to change its type, and its cells glow with different colors of light depending on its type. We could see a visual representation of exactly that within the trailer. You can see like all the different forms on the screen there, and you can see them all. But the other cool thing is, you put an item into its drive, whatever that means. I think that's like the little like helmet that it has on its face. There's like a little hole that you can see at the front there. I think you just like insert it into its nose, and maybe it'll do something different. I don't really know. Regardless, you have the ability to give him an item to change his typing, and he's a base normal type. That's exactly like Arceus. The other thing is you can change this thing's move typing. I don't think you actually change its typing like Arceus, because it has this new move called multi-attack. So it's essentially like Judgment in a way, but it's not the same. It's just a different like move based on whatever item that it's holding. So in that sense, we have to figure out, is this thing going to be able to be running off of, or is it going to change its type based off of like one of the Arceus plates? Do you actually have to use one of the Arceus plates to change this thing's typing? Do you maybe have to use the Z crystals? Because that's also a possibility that a lot of people did not think about, is that maybe in order to change this thing's typing, instead of using the Arceus plates, you instead find a Z crystal of a specific typing, and you put it inside of his drive or whatever, his mask, I guess. You put it into the drive, and then he changes to that color, or to that typing rather. That's something that I've seen a lot of people overlooking, but it actually makes a lot of sense when you think about it, because Z crystals are a new thing based upon elemental typing. So if there's a Z crystal for every single typing, then that would only make sense that to change this thing's typing, maybe you need to give it a Z crystal, and that's how you change its typing to whatever you want to change it to. A lot of people were theorizing, and I actually had a good suggestion from Sky saying that what might be possible is that if you give this thing like a shark beak, or a mystic water, or a charcoal miracle seed, or like those specific items like a twisted spoon, like specific typing items that boost the effects or the like the power of certain stab moves that are of the same typing of that item, then that might be the same way that you like change Type Null's form, or rather Silvalley's form. But it honestly makes a bit more sense to me that you'd use the Z crystals, considering that's like the whole new system that Game Freak's sort of trying to introduce, and that would actually make a lot of sense. But also, we could use the Arceus plates, or it could just be any kind of item that they really try to give us. They could be an entirely new one that we haven't seen before, because they don't really specify in the trailers. So it's interesting to think about how we might evolve this thing, or how we might change its form and all that. But the interesting thing to note here, overall, out of all the information we've gotten, is that there's, for some strange reason, whoever synthetically manufactured this Pokemon was clearly trying to get somewhere with it. And by that I mean, they were trying to get maybe to another realm. Possibly to the realm of the gods. I don't know. Tree life is a crazy place. So, a lot of people, like I said, have been asking me and theorizing in the comments about just what RKS system means. Usually by the time the translation actually comes out in English, it's, you know, always slightly different. It's not always 100% translated, but it's usually pretty close. So when it was translated yesterday in the Coro leaks, saying that its ability was actually called AR system, not RKS system. And I'm seeing a lot of people saying, you know, like the one you'll see on screen here, AR system made more sense than RKS system. Does it? Does it make more sense? I mean, we just, you know, sort of talked about how Arceus, or Arceus, or however you say it, or I'll say Arceus for the purpose of this because that's how it's officially pronounced. If you've got Arceus, and I should start saying that because that's its actual pronunciation. If you pronounce Arceus like Type Null's ability, RKS system, it's the Arceus system. RKS. Oh, they're going deep with this story this time, boys. Let me tell you. Regardless, if you want to see more Pokemon theories coming up soon to sort of continue from this one, actually, Make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a thumbs up as well. I would greatly appreciate it. And you will want to stick around for the next part of, or the next installment of my Sun and Moon theories, because I guarantee you this next one, oh boy, it's going to absolutely blow your mind. Knock your socks off, blow your mind. I don't know what the saying is, but I'll tell you right now, you don't want to miss it.